Much love, and I'm Wayne Johnson with Doc and Queen Ministries, also the author of the book entitled Every Child Deserves a Father. Resurrection Sunday today, had a great service, want to share just something to you, and it is got to do with trust.
Do you trust me?
Do you trust in the Lord? I will be coming from Luke chapter 22, verse 54 through, I'm not sure yet, but let me read. Let us go with it. They arrested Jesus and took him away to the house of the highest priest. Peter followed Jesus, but stayed back at a distance. The soldiers started a fire in the middle of the yard and sat together. Peter sat with them. A servant girl saw him sitting there. She could see because of the light from the fire. She looked closely at Peter's face. Then she said, This man was also with Jesus. But Peter said that was not true.
Not true.
He said, Lady, I don't know him. A short time later, someone else saw Peter and said, You are also one of them. But Peter said, Man, I am not.
I am not the man.
About an hour later, another man said, It's true. I'm sure this man was with him because he is from Galilee. But Peter said, Man, I don't know what you are talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Immediately, while he was still speaking, a rooster crowed. Now, what I want to share with you today is, do you trust the Lord? Do you trust the Lord? And I say this because clearly we say it all the time, and actually today we sung a song that I will trust in the Lord. And we say that, and we feel that we can do it until the moments get tough and the moments get dark. We are to trust in the Lord. And you would think, being all we know, or at least those who are believers know, all we know about the goodness of God and all the things that has been done, you would think that we would have no trouble trusting in the Lord. And many times we do. But the question is, when times get tough, do you trust in him? I know I like to say I trust in him, and I've had actually people even say that. I've even actually had my mom basically make that statement this morning before she left out for her church. But one thing I do know, even myself, knowing all that I know, all that I share, all that I teach, there are times that I even struggle with the trust, because we're human and we got something in us that is going to always fight that opposition. That's why it's so important for us to allow our spirit to rule over our flesh, because our flesh is always fighting with our spirit. And we see with Peter, who walked with Jesus, who was possibly the closest disciple to Jesus, he denied Jesus 3 times. And Peter was so vocal, so I would say an extrovert, so out there. And he denied Jesus after seeing everything that Jesus did on his journey. We have to understand that. And this I'm going to say, especially since I'm dealing with those who are standing for their marriage, standing for their spouse, it can be tough. You're going to have doubt sometimes. Fear is going to come on. There's going to be times you're going to quit. Satan is going to come at you. And even when you trust in the Lord, there's still going to be times that it's going to eat eat at you where you want to let go and just give up. But what I'm here to say is trust in him. Talk with him. Commune with him. Pray. Fast. You're going to need every weapon you can, because just like we saw with Peter, when the walls start coming in and when things don't look like on our side, we can start falling apart and deny. But we need to do our best to trust in the Lord. We're all human, and I know I've been through this struggle. It can be very, very difficult. Even when things seem to be getting better, all it takes is one screw to fall off and you back to square one again. But all I'm here to say, with everything in you, trust in the Lord. And when that doubt may creep in, still have a little bit in you to trust in the Lord. That's why it's so important for us to study the Bible to show ourselves approved. You study it. That's why it's so important for you to commune with God. Not hear from just what